Hello folks, today we're going to take a look at a Zeiss Axioskop 2 upright fluorescence microscope. For this video, we're going to take a look at how to set up fluorescence. We're not going to be looking at the transmitted light path, the condenser, color illumination. We're only going to be taking a look at the fluorescence illuminator and the light path, the filter cubes, how to set up those features. Now, this is the illuminator, HBO 100 fluorescence illuminator. External power supply. This has a lamp inside it. This is the collector lens. This is where you do your centering. I've got another video specifically for this system. I don't want to duplicate all that information here, so please refer to the other video about how to insert the bulb and do the centering. This video is going to be specific to the Axioskop 2 upright microscope. So let's say your bulb's in it, everything is centered. Okay, first thing to look at is we have this. This is, not every microscope has these. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at this. Zeiss calls it a viewing aid. It's used to center the bulb, and you can push it, you can engage it by pulling it out. You can look into here and you can adjust your centering of your bulb. Then you can push it out and then all the light goes directly through. So this is the first potential problem. If you're not seeing any fluorescence, maybe you've got this pulled all the way out. Make sure it's pushed back in all the way. Okay, as your fluorescence light goes in, first thing we have is a shutter slider. If you push it all the way in, it's blocking 100%. So if you see no light, it's possibly because your shutter's all the way in. Also, you don't want to photo bleach your specimens. So when you're looking at your specimen, you're getting some images, you're doing something, and everything's fine, and you need to take a few minutes, push this in. Cut the light to your specimen. That's phototoxicity on your cells. Then remember to pull it back out. And the other thing is we do have a BG38 IR cutoff filter. That's the one that's colored. You can turn it to that if you would like to attenuate your deep reds slightly and cut out your NIR. Cut out some of the heat that comes in there again for phototoxicity of your cells, as well as protecting the internal light path and your filter cubes. Okay, let's take a look at what these are. These are irises. This is your aperture diaphragm. This is your field diaphragm. Now the field diaphragm, you can pull it in and out, and you can actually see this in your eyepieces. And what you ideally want to do is to center it. You're going to use these knobs to center it. So you're going to move it around till it's right in the, you're going to close it down by pulling it out, not all the way, and center it, and then you're going to push it just past the field. And you can also center these, and you can also use this aperture diaphragm to slightly blacken the field of view. You can play around with the centering some. Sometimes you get a little too much illumination from background noise, background fluorescence, and this will cut that down if you close that down some. And you close it down by actually pulling it out. You don't want to pull it out all the way, just some. All right, next thing would be your dichroic filter cubes. This particular model, Axioskop 2, has the screw-in cubes. So for the screw-in cubes, you use a 2.5 millimeter Allen head, and this is how you take them out. This particular microscope has a 4 selector. So you can put 4 cubes in it. Technically, you're going to probably just have 3 cubes, and you're going to have one of them open. The open one would be for your transmitted illumination, such as bright field, DIC, phase contrast. So you have an excitation filter, you have a dichroic mirror inside, and you have an emissions filter. and you're generally going to have markings on the front of this, and it might say something like open, or maybe a dappy fitsy tritsy. Like if let's say number 2 happened to say fitsy, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rotate this to number 2, matching the number 2, matching whatever it says up here, and you would know that that's FITC. So when you go back to doing your bright field, you're going to want to rotate it to whatever says open, probably number 1, just depends on how somebody put the filters in. They could be done different ways, and you could change them around if you like to. All right, that is about it for how to set up the fluorescence on the Zeiss Axioskop 2 upright microscope. Okay, this is the second part of the video about how to set up fluorescence on the Zeiss Axioskop 2 upright fluorescence microscope. As you can see, we have an image, so we have the power supply turned on. It's igniting the bulb in the HBO 100 lamp housing. We have the fluorescence light path all opened up. We're exciting our specimen, exciting at 480 nanometers GFP, and we have an image on the screen. The first thing I want to talk about are the diaphragms. Notice you got a field diaphragm, and you can center it by using these screws. You see how this is slightly moving it around? Well, you're going to want to look into the eyepieces to center that, and just use this screw and slightly pull this out just a little bit, which closes that iris down to be able to properly see that iris when you're doing the centering. Okay, now the next thing would be the aperture diaphragm. This is a lot harder to center. Zeiss says you can pull out an eyepiece, you can look into here, and then you can center it. It also says you can use a centering telescope. Those don't seem to really work well. I think the easiest thing to do is to adjust these 2 centering knobs until you feel like you're getting the best, brightest, uniform field. If you see something dark on one side, then adjust it a little differently. And you're going to want to pull it out a little bit when you're trying to do that adjustment, because you might see some darkness on one of the sides. And if so, you want to do some adjustments on that centering. And then the next thing would be, this is the shutter slider. Let's push it in, cut the light off, let's pull it out. Remember, one opening is 100% blocked, and the other opening lets the light all the way through, and the other opening is an IR cutoff. Okay, you have cubes inside your turret. Let's move this around a little bit. Okay, let's set this to let's see, it's on GFP. Let's set it to dappy. Close the iris down a little bit. Look around. Okay, this comprises the video of how to set up fluorescence on the Zeiss Axioskop 2 upright fluorescence microscope. I hope this has helped you out, and thank you very much for watching.